how do you take a woman who has immense power, maybe even revolutionary power, spiritual, cultural, economic, and, well, neutralize it?
You know, historically, the playbook is surprisingly consistent.
Really?
Yeah. You define her by the most restrictive, the most limiting version of her sexual identity. It's this act of institutional control, a way to diminish agency.
And we've seen it used again and again.
Absolutely. Across millennia, actually.
So our mission today is a deep dive into the lives of three really iconic figures: Mary Magdalene, Marilyn Monroe, and Tracy Lords. We're going to unpack the kind of shocking similarities in their battles for self-determination.
And show you the mechanism, the exact mechanism used by everyone from, say, ancient religious leaders right up to 20th century studio execs that tried to control them.
Right. You probably know the myths, right? The reform sinner, the dumb blonde, the controversial actress.
But we want to offer you a shortcut to the real story. We're focusing on their true power.
Their leadership, their business smarts.
Exactly. And the surprising details that show just how hard they fought back against those labels that were meant to, keep them in a box.
Okay, let's start with the oldest example and maybe the most dramatic case of institutional character assassination. Mary Magdalene.
Right.
If you actually turn to the canonical Gospels, you see straight away she's a central figure, pivotal in Jesus' ministry.
Absolutely. The sources are clear. She was a profoundly devout follower. She traveled with Jesus and the disciples. And importantly, she supported the ministry financially.
Which suggests she wasn't poor. She had means.
Exactly. A woman of considerable means for her time, and she was there right at the end. The crucifixion, the burial, she witnessed it all.
But maybe the most crucial historical detail, the really key part, is her role after the resurrection.
Yes.
She was the first person, the very first, to see the resurrected Christ.
Yeah.
According to the Gospels themselves.
She was the key witness, the messenger. And this is precisely why the Eastern Orthodox tradition actually gave her a title, the Apostle to the Apostles.
Apostle to the Apostles.
Wow. Yeah, her role was to bear witness to the core miracle of Christianity and then communicate that news to the male disciples. That position gives her, unassailable authority within the narrative itself.
So, okay, if she was that important, the Apostle to the Apostles, the chosen messenger, how on earth did she become known, universally for centuries as a reformed prostitute?
It wasn't an accident. No, it was institutional engineering, you could call it. The Bible itself never calls Mary Magdalene a prostitute.
Never.
It doesn't link the 7 demons she supposedly had cast out of her to sexual sin either. That whole idea, that massive misconception, it originated much later, 591 AD.
Yep.
Pope Gregory often delivered a homily. And in that sermon, he consciously conflated Mary Magdalene with 2 other women mentioned in the Gospels.
He just mashed them together.
Pretty much. Most critically, he linked her with the anonymous sinful woman from the Gospel of Luke, the one who anoints Jesus' feet. And she was presumed, though never explicitly stated, to be a prostitute.
Just think about that. One sermon, one powerful man, and a spiritual leader gets demoted, basically, turned into a repenting sinner. What was the damage? I mean, what's so destructive about that kind of institutional lie centuries later?
Oh, the damage was huge. And you could argue it was calculated specifically to minimize female leadership within the emerging church hierarchy.
How so?
Well, by turning the leading female authority figure, the apostle to the apostles, into simply a repentant sinner, early church leaders effectively neutralized her apostolic authority. See, she wasn't an independent leader anymore.
She was just someone who needed forgiveness.
Exactly. A woman defined by past sin, not present authority.
And this didn't just affect her legacy, did it? It must have shaped the role of all women in Western culture.
For a millennium, yeah. Precisely. It cemented that really restrictive Madonna whore complex.
Why?
Women got shoved into one of 2 impossible boxes. You're either the unapproachable divine ideal, like Mother Mary,
Madonna.
or you're the forgiven, but still kind of tainted, former sinner, Mary Magdalene, as reimagined by Gregory.
So, no room left for complex, independent, spiritual female leadership.
None. It's a mechanism of control, designed to suppress female power within the institution.
That is staggering, really. A staggering piece of history. We should probably note, though, it took a very long time to unwind this officially.
It did, over 1,300 years. The Catholic Church didn't formally correct that misinterpretation until 1969.
1969.
And it was only in 2016, just 8 years ago, that Pope Francis elevated her liturgical memorial to a feast day, putting her on par with the other apostles.
Wow. The fight for her true identity lasted literally over a millennium.
It did. And, it's a playbook that Hollywood learned by heart.
Okay, so let's make that jump.
Right.
From the ancient church to the modern studio system, you're saying we see the same mechanism.
Exactly the same mechanism. This time aimed squarely at the economic power of Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Mortensen, of course.
Right. They weren't worried about her spiritual authority, but they definitely cared about her economic clout.
Oh, absolutely. When she died in 1962, she was only 36. Her films had already grossed $200 million.
Which is like, what, $2 billion today?
Roughly, yeah. $2 billion in today's economy. She was a massive star. And the studio, 20th Century Fox mainly, they needed to contain her. Contain that power.
And how did they do it? What was the label this time?
The dumb blonde. The invention of that persona. The blonde bombshell who was, innocently unaware of the havoc her sexiness caused.
But what's fascinating is how deliberate her performance of that archetype was, wasn't it?
Totally deliberate. She was a brilliant woman who consciously crafted that image.
Right, like the breathy voice and the sort of childish mannerisms for the camera.
Exactly, and giving interviews that were designed to make her look completely uncalculated. Like her famous line when asked if she regretted posing nude for that calendar early on.
What did she say?
She just said, "I had the radio on." It was a perfect self-parodying line. Played right into the narrative they wanted.
But it worked too well, maybe.
Way too well. Audiences, critics, even studio execs genuinely seemed to believe the persona was the real person.
And that became a problem when she wanted more.
A massive hindrance, yeah. Especially when she wanted serious dramatic roles. She was consistently typecast. And critically, she was underpaid by Fox. They saw her as kind of replaceable inventory, not an artist with agency.
Okay, but here's where her own power comes in, isn't it? She didn't just accept that. She fought back.
She absolutely did. This is where she completely defies that passive victim narrative you sometimes hear. She decided she was done being contained.
So what did she do?
In 1954, she founded her own production company, Marilyn Monroe Productions, or MMP.
That sounds pretty radical for the time.
It was. Her willingness to fight the powerful studio system, starting her own company, it's actually been called instrumental in the long-term collapse of that old restrictive studio system.
She showed other stars it was possible.
She did. Showed them how to challenge the monopoly. And she didn't just start a company, she walked away from Hollywood for a year.
Right, she went to New York.
Moved to New York to study method acting under Lee Strasberg. A very serious move. It was a direct signal, I want artistic respect, not just celebrity.
And did it work? Did Fox listen?
That stand forced their hand. Her new 1955 contract was a landmark win. Huge salary increase, $400,000 for 4 films, which was big money then.
Wow.
And crucially, the right to choose her own projects, directors, cinematographers. She seized creative control.
And she used that control, didn't she? To prove she could act.
Absolutely. Her performance in Bus Stop in 1956 got rave reviews. One critic specifically wrote that it effectively dispels once and for all the notion that she is merely a glamour personality.
And she won a Golden Globe for something.
Yeah.
That get hot.
She did. But, the personal cost of fighting that constant external pressure, it was immense.
Yeah, the scrutiny must have been relentless. Her private life, the marriages.
To Joe DiMaggio, Arthur Miller. Even the FBI opened a file on her because of Miller's supposed political leanings, though they found nothing connecting her.
That fight for respect, though.
Yeah.
Trying to be taken seriously as an artist while still sometimes having to play the airhead for the camera. That sounds exhausting.
It had to be the ultimate burnout mechanism, and it certainly contributed to her reliance on barbiturates, amphetamines, alcohol, trying to cope with anxiety, insomnia.
It got worse over time.
It did, and her final professional chapter was brutal too. Fox fired her from her last film, Something's Got to Give. It was unfinished, sued her, publicly tried to reduce her back to that fragile, unstable symbol.
But wasn't she negotiating again just before she died?
She was. They actually regretted firing her and reopened negotiations for a new, favorable contract right before her death at 36 from that barbiturate overdose, ruled a probable suicide. The system tried really hard to neutralize the powerful business mogul by reducing her to a tragic sex symbol defined by instability.
It's that same pattern. Define, reduce, control.
Exactly. And we see that same fight over identity, that same mechanism of sexual reduction manifest again in our third figure, Tracy Lords, this time contending with the modern adult entertainment industry and the legal system.
Tracy Lords, born Nora Louise Kuzma.
She's maybe the ultimate modern example of a forced identity. She entered the porn industry as a high school dropout, crucially, using a stolen birth certificate and a fake ID.
So she was underage.
Started her career at just 15. And under this false persona, she instantly became one of the biggest stars of the mid-'80s.
But that false identity blew up, didn't it? Led to a huge scandal.
Massive. In 1986, an anonymous tip to the FBI revealed she'd been a minor during almost her entire career.
What happened then?
The fallout was immediate, devastating for the industry. Virtually all the material featuring her was declared illegal, classified as child pornography. It had to be removed from circulation.
Except for one film.
Right. The only exception was a film called Tracy, I Love You, which, luckily for them, had been filmed just 2 days after her 18th birthday. But the scandal cost the adult film industry millions.
And just like Marilyn, facing these huge legal and institutional pressures, Lords made a very calculated, very strategic pivot.
To reclaim her future, her professional life.
And the parallel is uncanny, isn't it?
It really is. That's the most telling connection. She immediately enrolled at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute.
The exact same acting school Marilyn Monroe went to.
The very same one. It signaled her serious intent, dedication to the craft, a clear, conscious rejection of the identity that the porn industry had imposed on her.
And she pulled it off. She didn't just transition, she really succeeded in the mainstream.
Absolutely excelled. Moved into mainstream films like John Waters' Crybaby, the blockbuster Blade.
She had a music career too, right?
Yeah, launched a music career. Her single Control hit #2 on the Billboard Hot Dance Club Songs chart. And then in 2003, her autobiography, Tracy Lords, Underneath It All, became a New York Times bestseller.
Quite a comeback. Rebuilding on her own terms.
But maybe the ultimate act of self-definition, the real symbolic victory, wasn't just the success. It was taking control of the name itself, the name that had caused the scandal.
What did she do?
She legally changed her name to Tracy Elizabeth Lords. She explained it really plainly, saying she chose to stop running from it. Her words were, "Instead, I own it."
Wow. I own it. Taking the weaponized identity and making it her legal property.
Exactly. And then enforcing that new boundary, like famously refusing to do nude scenes in later mainstream films, like Zack and Miri Make a Porno. She reportedly said, "I'm done with all that."
So a woman who fought an industry that basically commodified her false sexual identity and successfully rebuilt her entire career on her own terms.
Absolutely. So when we connect these timelines, Mary Magdalene, Marilyn Monroe, Tracy Lords, the pattern across 2 millennia, it's just undeniable.
Yeah. Whether the pressure came from Pope Gregory I or a studio boss like Daryl F. Zanuck at Fox, or the legal system dealing with the adult film industry, the conflict is fundamentally the same.
It's the struggle. Brilliant, ambitious women trying to maintain control of their own complex narratives.
Against these external forces that always seem to prefer simple, restrictive, and usually sexualized archetypes.
Right. The institutions wanted the sinner, or the dumb blonde, or the porn star.
Because those are easy to contain, easy to dismiss.
But the reality was the religious leader, the business mogul, the accomplished mainstream artist. Identities defined by their agency, their choices, not just their sexuality.
So, okay, wrapping this up, what does this whole deep dive mean for you listening right now?
Well, that mechanism we've been talking about, controlling female power by reducing a woman to a simple, often sexualized identity, it's not just history, it's still actively deployed today.
In the media, social commentary, institutional forces.
All the time. So maybe the final thought is this. Next time you read about or hear about a powerful female public figure,
don't just think about the gap between her public image and her private reality.
Instead, maybe look for the evidence of her agency. What choices is she actively making? About her career, her boundaries, her narrative.
And ask yourself, what convenient restrictive archetype might you currently be accepting about a woman of power? An archetype that denies her the complexity and denies her the agency that women like Mary, Marilyn, and Tracy fought so incredibly hard to reclaim.